So what do you do when you're lost at sea and everything you've tried isn't working?
When narcolepsy gets to the point where I just feel completely overwhelmed and like I can't get any air.
I was a really avid guitar player, but when I started being able to get function back, or when I was in rehab trying to learn fine motor skills, I realized that I couldn't play guitar anymore. I didn't have the strength in my left hand or the coordination to play chords.
I've been a competitive rower or cyclist or things like that for a long time, so I think I've derived a lot of my identity as the fit athletic guy, so when this sort of had this identity already rolled into this, and then at first when I got Parkinson's, I didn't know what to do. At the beginning I was like, well, there goes the majority of my identity. However, then this new opportunity presented itself to go even further into this obsession almost, so.
It was devastating to not be able to practice medicine as I planned after almost 7 years of medical school. Right up there with the fear of mortality, as I was initially adjusting to a terminal illness diagnosis of near total disability, was my perceived loss of the ability to be of service.
We detach and we start to remove the things from our lives that are becoming too much for us to cope with. We don't want to feel like a burden, so we start letting go of that attachment, that community, that connectiveness, and in doing so we keep sliding down the scale into the pit. And it is a bit like a mud pit, to the point where you're sliding and you do need someone to give you a helping hand up.
So how do I deal with that? How do I get past this pain, this way of thinking, so I can move on with my life, find a better space, find a better way?
It looks different daily for me.
First and foremost, I think I turn to what I would call some sort of prayer. I think that there is something really spiritual about voicing out loud the things that are weighing you down and driving you crazy and feel like they're suffocating you.
The moment that is the most powerful is the point of surrender, the point where you've been battling so hard to stop the feelings, to stop the pain, to stop the emotional barrage of stuff just hitting you constantly, and you just surrender to it. And in that moment you create yourself a little bubble where you can breathe a little bit, and you just relax. You relax into it a little bit, instead of trying to fight it off, and instead of trying to understand or try and fix it, you just stop.
When I have felt like I am lost at sea, or I have hit my rock bottom and I'm sending out an SOS call, my lifeline has to be me.
I choose to connect with something greater than myself that helps me cope.
I have this coach that's inside of me that has to start pushing me, making me push harder than I've ever had to push, to tell me, quit feeling sorry for yourself. Yes, you're in pain. Yes, this hurts. But you've got to get over this. You've got to find a way, because people are counting on you.
For about a decade, I didn't plant apple trees. I didn't plant blueberry bushes. I didn't plant pear trees. But I stayed alive.
I know that I already used my husband Brent for when we shared about our heroes, but he also wins the Lifeline Award.
I have gotten into producing music, which was something I did before my stroke, but I didn't like it as much. Now, it's what I do. It's my connection to kind of who I was before I cracked my neck, I guess, and paralyzed myself.
When I was in the hospital, I laid in bed, couldn't move. I was pretty much paralyzed. My lifeline was basically my memory, and that's what kept me going. And I had a pretty full life, so and lots of things to go over.
The number one lifeline for me is humor. This first became apparent to me when I was pregnant with my son about 8 years ago, and I struggled, as many women do, with morning sickness. It was amazing because I realized I actually felt less sick when I was listening to this comedy. Like something physiologically was changing in my body, and I've been using it ever since, and not just when I'm feeling physically ill, but when I'm feeling down emotionally. I can really just shift things with laughter.
Well, there's like functional things I do. I try to build in things like take a nap during every day, like to try to allow myself to be this fatigue. I guess that's what I do sometimes, like try to allow myself to be like that, so not get frustrated with it.
My online community, whether that's Facebook groups, specifically my CSF League Facebook group, is just absolutely incredible. Being able to access a large group of people who can relate to what you're going through, and also have access to resources from people who have been through it before makes a really huge difference.
My lifeline is having purpose. It is like having a North Star to guide me through the challenging terrain of life. No matter how dark the night becomes, drifting at sea, with my North Star to steer my rudder by, I'm never lost.
My lifeline, and it's so important to me, is I get to continue to be at work on projects that are of service to others. As everyone in my family told me, I was born to be a person who wanted to be a person who served other people.
The other lifeline that I really wanted to address and bring up is my husband, David. He is without a doubt my best friend, my biggest advocate, the person who I couldn't do life without.
Because even when I feel like all of me is gone, he's still there. And he holds on to what's left of me and brings me back.
I feel incredibly powerful in my life, despite my disease and limitations, because my advocacy and my ability to be of service to others has been my lifeline. And without my ability to do that, I don't know what would happen. I'll figure it out when it comes that time, but it is so critically important to me. And I'm more ambitious than I've ever been, and I love my life, and I don't take it for granted. I've been so lucky that I've been able to work with joy and ambition despite my disease. And I'm grateful that I've been able to do that throughout my life.